Hello fellow aspirants, I am Harsh and welcome to another video of Law School 101. I hope everyone is doing good. So today we will begin our second topic, that is direction sense. Now before you make this face and start saying direction कौन पढ़ता है यार, सबको आता है ये तो. Okay, I agree, almost all of you do not need to separately study direction sense, but in this video we will have a trick that will make life really easy for you. A question that took you 30 seconds before will now take only 10 seconds. So without wasting any further time, let's jump right into it. So I picked this question up from a past year paper, not past year, in fact this year paper only, for which we have a trick to make them easier. But let me first show you the standard method, after which we will compare it with the trick and then you can assess that which one suits you more. So before we start direction sense questions, almost everyone has a habit of making a reference so that they don't mess up right while going east, west or north, south. So we draw this first and then we read the question. So there's a birthday party and Romeo takes out a car. She drives 30 meter towards north and 40 meter towards west. So 30 meter to north and then 40 meter to west, then 8 meter south, then 26 meter east, finally turning right and driving 10 meter. Then she turns left and drive 19 meter, and we have to find which direction is she from the starting point and how much displacement, that is this distance, this is called as a displacement, shortest distance from the starting point. Okay, so to calculate this arrow we will have to calculate this part and this part. So for that, this part we will have to add to 19, 26 and subtract from 40, then we will get 5. Then for this area, this distance, we will have to subtract 8, 18, 8 and 10 from 30, and then we will get 12, and then we will apply Pythagoras theorem and we will get our answer as 13. Alright, so this is the normal method. Now we will study from the trick method. So the previous one almost takes 45 seconds, but with our trick we can reduce it to 20 to 25 seconds. Let's see how. So in this trick you draw out the direction reference, make sure it's big enough so that we can write numbers over it. Now it says that we move 30 meter to the north, so we will write 30 meter in the north column. Similarly, it moves 40 meter to the west, and then we write 40 meter in the west column. Similarly, 8 meter south to the south column, then 26 meter to the east column. Now we turn right, so right turn from east direction would go to the south direction. Okay, so we write 10 meter in the south column, which makes the total 18. Also, if we move to the left of south direction, we would come back to east. So we add the remaining 19 meter to the east column, which makes the total as 45. Okay, so now what we have to do is to find the surplus. So surplus here is 5 meter into the east direction. Similarly, we find surplus here, which is 12 meter to the north direction. Okay, now what we have to do is to find this direction. Okay, since there is a 12 meter surplus on the north and 5 meter surplus on the east, that means the person has moved northeast direction. Okay, now how much has he moved in northeast direction? That is simple. Apply Pythagoras theorem. This is 5 square, this is 12 square, would be equal to the square of this. So 5 square plus 12 square is equals to 169, which is 13 square. So our answer would be 13. Okay. So this method is very simple. Just try out more and more questions and then you will be really comfortable with it. But there is a bad news also. We don't have a trick for every question of this type. I mean, maximum questions you can cover from this trick, but not every question. So let me show you which question I am talking about. This is the exception. This appeared in AILET 2019 as well. Maximum number of people were unable to solve this question because it was a little confusing. If you want to try this out, pause the video and try to solve it. Okay. So in this question, there are two people who live on the either side of the road, which goes from north to south. And Asma's house is on the west side, so it would look like this. Okay, there's a road and Asma's house here and Seema's house on the eastern side. Now Asma moves 5 kilometer left, okay, and then 5 kilometer right, and she reaches Geeta. Similarly, Seema moves in the exactly same manner and reaches Shobha's house. So it would look like this. Asma moving here and reaching, then Seema also reaching Shobha's house. Now we have to draw a conclusion. Okay, so the house of Shobha and Geeta are less than 20 kilometer apart. This could be a good conclusion because most likely it's less than 20 kilometer apart only. The houses of Shobha and Geeta are 20 kilometer apart, exactly 20 kilometer apart. That is really hard to say, man. We cannot say if they're exactly 20 kilometer apart. So we can eliminate B. Shobha and Geeta live in the same street. No. Shobha can live on a street that goes like this and Geeta can live on a street that goes like this. So I don't think so this follows. So we eliminate this. Geeta's house faces south. It could face here or here or here. It would not matter, man. It would not impact the question anyway, and we don't even have any clue. So the remaining is statement A, that they are less than 20 kilometer apart, and hence A would be the answer. I was one of the few ones who got this question correct. Okay, sorry for the bragging. Now a relatively easy question but has a concept involved. So I thought of sharing this as well. In this there are two persons. One of them has his or her shadow facing towards their left or right, and on the basis of the shadow and the direction of the sun, we are supposed to find the way where these people are facing. Okay, so here there are two people, Rekha and Hema. We can say Hema is here and Rekha is there. Now Hema's shadow is to the right of her. So this is Hema, her shadow is to the right of her. Okay. And now look at the time. It is 5 p.m. which means it is evening and the sun sets in west in the evening. So this is the sun, okay, in the west. So from our reference, the shadow is east, which means, okay, so why would the shadow be in east? Because the sun is in the west and the shadow is in the direction which is opposite to that of the sun. So from a reference diagram, the shadow is facing towards east because sun is in the west, and this is east, this is east, so this will be north, this will be south. Okay, so we can easily conclude that Rekha was facing south. Okay, now on the face of it, this question seems relatively simple, but small details like this 5 p.m. time could be overlooked and misunderstood as maybe 5 a.m. and then a person would assume that the sun is rising in the east, which could totally change the answer. So this question was also to teach you that silly mistakes are very common. So how do you avoid such silly mistakes? Simply by committing them, and then next time being consciously aware of them as you attempt a similar question. So this not only works for in this concept, but in general for all the other subjects. Okay, so remember that. Now pause the video, read the question, and then we'll try to decipher it. Okay, so in this question there is a clock um, whose minute hand is at 12 p.m. faces northeast. So it looks like this, the clock and the minute hand facing towards northeast. So since we know that northeast is surrounded by north and east, okay, on the either side, so we can have two possible cases for the remaining direction. Okay, so one could be the north is here and east is there, and east is here and north is there. So we know that only one of these will be the correct interpretation. So how do you eliminate the incorrect one? For that, look at the reference diagram again. You will notice that if we go to the right of north direction, we reach the east direction. But in case 2, right of north is coming out to be west, which means that this will be wrong and we would eliminate case 2. Now in the remaining alternative, we have to find where the hour hand would be at 1:30 p.m. So almost here it would be, which would mean east, and hence east would be our answer. So we have come at the end of the slide. I know this video was short, but I thought sharing these tricks and some new concepts would really help you learn something new today. Leave a comment if you like this video. Also share this video with your friends and subscribe to Law School 101. Also follow Law School 101 on Instagram for IGTV updates, where you would get more content for logic, legal and maths. And if you don't have Instagram, then I salute you. It's very rare to find someone who is detached from the evil we have called as social media. Anyways, take care everyone. I'll be back in another video. Signing out. Peace.